season?
I haven't had a perfect game yet since I've been in the NFL, so that's always the goal, having a perfect game, being as successful as I can be. However it is, got a lot of good receivers on the schedule this year. Gonna have a really tough task throughout the weeks. Just being prepared as best as I can.
Ramsey also spoke about having stability this season.
Not much has changed, just a few slight changes in the secondary, but it helps a lot. We can just keep rolling off what we built last year instead of having to start over brand new or anything like that.
Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, is coming up now on your home for the Jags, 1010XL.
Local sports on Jacksonville Sports Station, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and
Only said
Heels,
20 words.
built by Dreamfinders Homes, is presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products on 1010XL. Now your hosts,
Lauren Brooks,
Donna Murphy and Blythe Brumley.
Hello, ladies,
Hi.
on a rainy
Yo.
Tuesday night. Although, Blythe, you look like summertime.
I
You
know,
don't look
right?
like the rain's affected you whatsoever.
No, not at all. It affected me. I was in Orlando over the weekend. It affected a little bit of my trip. But outside of that, I've been staying indoors since I got home late Sunday night.
So hopefully you had a good trip, and I know another one is planned next week, so lots
Two
of Disney magic for you.
Two Orlando trips planned next week. I don't know why I do this to myself, but it is June, so I guess I got to get these vacations in before football season starts. We'll see. We'll see how I feel the following week.
We'll talk about vacations a little later in the show. It is not vacation time for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Minicamp began today. It will continue tomorrow and Thursday. Then the team will be off for a while. They will get some more vacation time. One player who skipped OTAs was Jalen Ramsey. He skipped all of them. Some players skipped some of them, but he skipped every single one. He was training in Tennessee with his dad. He returned today, and did you ladies catch his press conference or snippets of his press conference?
Snippets, yes.
So I expected, because he missed all that time, I expected when the question got asked to him, why did you miss time, for him to come out and say, it's none of your business. I can take care of myself. My performance stood, out for itself. I don't need to talk to you guys about my choices. That's what I expected. Instead, he gave very candid answers. I thought explained exactly why he wasn't there in a rational, clear manner with zero angst whatsoever towards the media. It was not at all what I was expecting. So therefore, my question, knowing how brash he typically is, were you disappointed that he wasn't kind of more aggressive?
No, I think the majority, I would say probably maybe 70% of the time he's like this. I would say it's only really the highlight reel that we get, which is like the other 30% of the time is when we get those sound clips. Outside of that, I think he's pretty, either he doesn't talk at all or he's just pretty real about the situation. So it's just one of those things. He's excited to get into camp. Maybe he's excited to get into camp, or maybe he's just excited to get things going.
Yeah, it seems more in season for when his trash talk happens. I would have loved to have asked him about Good Morning Football. I love Good Morning Football. I love that show. They had a topic. Today is Tuesday. They had a topic yesterday morning, and they were going around the divisions picking the best player in each division. And they all unanimously chose DeAndre Hopkins. And I go, well, I don't understand how you can do that if Ramsey shut him down. So I'm like, I don't get it. So I would have loved to have been like, so this happened. Do you have a response for that? So then some playful banter might have, occurred, but something like that.
Yeah, that might have elicited more. And he did certainly give, I thought, some really noteworthy quotes. But kind of the attitude that I was fully expecting, because he hadn't been there, wasn't there at all. He walked in, I don't know if y'all saw the video, but he walked in past the media originally with the peace sign. And I thought, oh, well, then he really is setting this up for just a kind of knock you out press conference. But it was kind of humble, and I won't say I was disappointed. I certainly respect the fact that he was respecting everyone he was talking to, but I was kind of looking for something a little juicier per se. But it made perfect sense. He loves the way his dad trains him, and his dad's very hard on him. We've talked about their relationship, and he was hurt the last 2 seasons at this time of the year. So he may as well be kind of training on his terms, make sure that he's as healthy as he can possibly be. And it's something he's calling a no setback season. That all made perfect sense. I didn't expect it coming from
Right.
him. And especially, too, I read that he walked in saying 2.0, you know, because that's his nickname. But either way, I'm certainly happy to have him here, happy to have him healthy, and happy that the whole team, all 90 players, were there today. Jalen was asked today which game on the schedule he is most interested in, or at least the one that he's kind of got circled. And he answered week 1, which is the perfect response for...
That is a Coughlin answer.
Absolutely,
right
for the Coughlin-Marone perspective. Is it also, though, week 1 because he is going up against Odell Beckham Jr.?
Possibly. I mean, I know he was trying to recruit him via social media, but he's trying to recruit a lot of different guys via social media. And we talked about the possibility of OBJ coming to Jacksonville, and we mentioned on the show that it would be great to see it only because of the sass that would be thrown around during practices. I think that he's going to give that right answer with the Giants. That's a huge game for this franchise, I think, from a media perspective. But I think it's also a huge game for this team to get started on the right foot. They don't want to be looking ahead towards that week 2 matchup against the AFC Championship game matchup with the Patriots looming. So I think that was the perfect answer that he could give. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of trash talking on that field when those two face off against each other.
Yeah, there's so many storylines within that. Obviously, Coughlin going to New York is, I would think, the biggest one. But for me, Jalen answered it right. I agree with Blythe. It's, you have to have the Coughlin speak, the Marone speak, and we're not looking ahead. We're getting week by week. But for me, I'm most actually looking forward to is Barkley against this defensive line. That, to me, is what I am really excited about. Because they're all, yeah, we get the best running back. And we're like, no, he's not going anywhere. So it's that's the matchup I'm more excited to see.
And the Giants' offensive line has really been reshuffled since last season, so it will be interesting to see if they're better to protect Barkley. As far as the Jalen versus Odell Beckham Jr., I think that is going to be an incredible test for Jalen Ramsey. He's gone up against some of the best wide receivers, granted, but these two haven't met yet. And like you said, as far as the trash talking goes, this is a guy who can trash talk with the best of them also. So I don't think Jalen's in any way going to be able to get into Odell's head. Odell's kind of a crazy person to begin
I think
with.
the exact opposite. I think it's going to be so easy to get into his head. I mean, he kicks nets, and he's a moron when it comes to on-field antics.
He's kind of got a screw loose already. So
right.
I feel like it's harder to penetrate into somebody like that than it is somebody who's so focused. Those are the types I think, at least, you can kind of break into because they're more of the perfectionist type.
He got in AJ Green's head, and he never goes off. And even Allen Robinson in practices last year, it was rumored that he was getting increasingly impatient and just frustrated with the way that Jalen was playing him. And maybe that's why he went to Chicago, because he didn't want to play against Jalen in practice.
Well, those are two guys that I think are conscientious about the way they approach their game, and Odell is just off in left field. So I really do think that the antics are going to be interesting.
Oh, I hope they mic him up. Please mic him up.
That would be great. Odell, by the way, there was a video tweeted out today of him running routes. So even though he did fracture his ankle last season, they were a little bit concerned coming into the offseason, but he wasn't able to participate in team drills, but he looks fantastic running the routes in at least the videos that were tweeted out. So I think he's going to be 100% healthy. The one thing you wonder is Odell going to be a little bit too concerned with getting a new contract? Because he has certainly expressed that is a number one priority for him. So I hope that he's a little bit distracted and not as
distract
focused.
The whole team, please.
Absolutely. And plus, again, he is such a diva to begin with that I feel like a little bit of injury / the contract stuff, I think that's going to make for maybe the perfect game. As Jalen said, he hasn't had a perfect game yet. Maybe that'll be against Odell.
I think by the second quarter, OBJ will be rattled.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Last week, local brewery Intuition Ale Works released Miles Jack Wasn't Down, which is a beer. I think this move is genius because, A, people are going to order the beer without even asking what kind of beer is it. And as you know, in the craft beer world, everybody always wants to know what type of beer it is that they're going to order because they like certain things or they want to try different things. But everyone always has like the different types of beer that they gravitate towards. And I feel like people are going to order this without even asking what kind of beer is it. I just want to do it. And then I just want to try it. And then I feel like a lot of people are going to want to be able to take pictures and therefore spread it on social media that they got this beer. So I think it's a genius move.
It's definitely a great move. And Ben Davis is the owner of Intuition. He's a huge Jaguars fan. In the article that the Florida Times-Union sent out is that he talks about being a long-suffering Jaguars fan and how he was looking for different creative names to come up for this specific beer. And it's cool in one way, and then in another way it's like, oh, and like all the casual fans are going to find out about it. They're going to start, it's like one of those things where like if the casual fan or even like if your parents get on like a social media account, it's like, oh, it's suddenly not cool anymore. Once the casual fans start saying Miles Jack wasn't down, it's like, I don't know. It just kind of.
But success is always going to breed new fans, which I don't know, depends on how you define casual, but it's certainly going to bring fans that have not been on board either since day one.
If you weren't a fan before last season, before the middle of last season, I don't want to hear your opinion on the Jaguars. Period.
Donna, are you going to try the beer, once
I don't drink beer anyways. I am not a beer drinker. But
buy one and smash it on the ground.
It's smart. It's very smart. I think it's very creative. I would have liked to have maybe seen it not announced yet and just sold maybe the week 2, and then you can get it after that. That seems like it would have had more hype to me, would have been more special, because now you can buy it now and by the time week 2 comes, it's whatever, we already know about
this. That's actually a great idea, because you can just stop by Intuition, because they're already downtown, get a growler of it, and then bring it to the tailgate. That's a perfect tailgate compliment.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that bad. Will I try it? No. I don't drink beer, though. So, if you want to make a Miles Jack wasn't down rum, then call me.
But you hate that phrase. So would you, if there was, let's say, a rum, let's say that Manifest Distillery next door to Intuition, you would?
Yeah. I'm not that, like, just because I mute the phrase on Twitter, it doesn't mean I have to, completely negate everything.
I think the pregnancy is softening you. And that is perfectly fine. All right, when we come back, I have a question that I want to pose to the ladies that I was asked last week, and I actually answered it in a much nicer fashion than I feel like I should have. So I need to get their opinion on how I should have answered it and how they would have, because I think it was a sexist question. That is coming up next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
The home of Jaguars fans.
I didn't respond to that, but that is a fun question.
What question? Oh, that one.
Hers, yeah.
Welcome in, YouTube. You are so awesome. Let me see if I can get these settings right. Good.
Florida resident summer golf getaways. Best way to play during the spring months.
Cool.
Big Golf Week ranks 2, 3, and 4, all in Florida, all in one location, and all for one special price. Enjoy a 2-night stay at the Lakeside Lodge.
Too close.
Babysitter for Saturday night. Yay! Thanks, BK.
No resort fee and discounts on recreational $175 per person.
What are you doing Saturday night that needs a babysitter?
A wedding.
Ooh. What do you have to wear?
Whatever my belly can fit into. Probably
Like,
what
is
I
it fancy.
No, I don't think so. I bought a new dress for my niece's graduation.
Oh,
I found
okay.
at Target. It was
Yeah.
maternity floral.
Sweet.
So I'll probably just put that on. There's a whole lot of bigness coming at you when you look at the front, but whatever, I don't care.
I think maternity clothes are so cute.
Well, it's really cute.
Good. Yeah.
It's just
you're not used to your body like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
a
totally
lot.
get that.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to, before Target had more of like a defined section between non-maternity and maternity, I would walk over there and I'd be like, oh, this is so cute. Do they have my size? I
Right.
thought it'd be a large or an extra large. And I was like, oh, that's maternity.
Right.
Like, why
And
am I drawn to all the maternity stuff?
Here's all our regular clothes, and then here's your little rack of maternity. I'm like, man, but they're all cute.
They are cute.
What about online shops?
Nah.
No.
I just want to go in there and pick it out. I'm not dealing with you know.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who buy, like, almost, not religiously, but buy a lot of their clothes online.
I do. Almost
you?
all of them, yeah.
Really?
Amazon 2-day ship. If I have an event coming up and I don't have time to go to the mall, 2-day ship, a bunch of items to myself, free returns, and whatever I don't like, I'll just send it back.
See, I used to buy, remember when Victoria's Secret had sold clothes? That's where I would get all my clothes. I'm so mad they stopped doing that. Because their stuff
selling their makeup too.
Their stuff
they had really good makeup
so well and was made nice. So I started buying Venus, which obviously out of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Because their stuff is cute, but it's not made as well.
Yeah.
You know.
What about Aerie? Have you ever tried them?
Yeah. I used to love them, but I used to work at Victoria's Secret, so I would always get a bunch of hogwash.
I feel like anything I order online doesn't
hogwash?
fit. Hogwash. But maybe it's because I haven't found like a brand that where I know what size I am. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like because I'm tall, it
have you tried
properly.
Venus?
No.
It might work for you because it doesn't work well for me. Like being tall, and thin would work for you with Venus. I bet it's just not. A lot of things aren't made that great. You know.
Yeah.
One wash and it's like, how'd I get this hole?
Yeah, that's definitely all my Amazon clothes, but
right?
They're so cheap, and I change my style so much, so it's
and they're cute.
And they have a lot of pictures with people wearing it. That's what I usually judge off of it. And then they'll list like their size and what they bought, and that's the only way I'll know if I can get it.
That's good. I've never done that with Amazon.
I love it. Swear by it. And I know like a lot of local boutiques will hate me for saying it. My girlfriend has that big pink fashion truck that rides all around. I'm like, I can't afford your stuff. She's even more affordable than like some of these other boutiques. I was like, I just, $40 for a t-shirt. I'm like, it better be a damn good t-shirt for $40. You can go to Amazon and get it for $8.
That's that NFL.com shirt is what that is. That's what you're buying.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Screw that.
My mom got me two. She got me the Jags maternity one and the Sox maternity one. Man, the most comfortable damn shirts. I was like, I'm gonna keep these even afterwards because these will be great sleep shirts, man. They're awesome. There he is. You're not going nowhere week 1. Look at that doofus.
I am interested to see if they use him in special teams at all as a returner. I just feel like why would you risk your 3rd overall draft pick?
Right.
To potentially be hurt, but I don't know.
Interesting.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
And
Live spot next break. You
I'll
got
play
it.
something, and then we'll do it.
Good. Thank y'all.
Kick off your week with breakfast with Tony Boselli and Chef Bronson. Monday morning.
Brought to you by
Ben Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Palatka. 21% off all new Ram trucks on 10XL.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
So I feel like I'm pretty good on what is sexist and what isn't.
Right.
This morning, Prosser asked me a question on whether or not I thought Rafael Nadal saying that the men should be paid more than the women in tennis because they get higher ratings, is that sexist? I said absolutely not. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So they should be paid more if they're bringing in more revenue, right? I don't think that's sexist. So I feel like I'll give pretty honest answers about it. So I had to get a new phone recently, and I'm sitting there. My TV is also tied with my phone, all the same provider, and I have to get a new service. So we were having a conversation about switching over to the satellite kind, and then that way I'd get a free year of NFL Direct, an NFL Sunday ticket. So then the guy asks me, does the man of the house watch the NFL? And my response was very nice, and I said, yes, he does, and I do too. And I moved right along, and I didn't really think about it until I left the store, and then I thought to myself, well, wait a minute.
Wait, left the store, so he said it to your face?
Oh yeah,
wow.
this was in person. Yeah, we were sitting down.
How old was he? Older or?
No, not older. I'm gonna guess maybe 5 years older than me at the most. So maybe like early 40s at the most. Let's say that. And so then I left the store and I went home and I started to think more about it, and I was like, why didn't he ask if anyone in the household watches the NFL?
Right.
Or just say, do you watch the NFL? And if I said no, then he could say, well, does anyone there, like a man, watch the NFL?
Why do you have to be gender specific?
Yeah, so how should I have responded to his question? How should I have addressed it?
See, in person, that would have been much more shocking because you wouldn't expect it, you know? So I
Right.
think I would be taken aback, like, well, I do, and I know he does at times, but yes, I do, in case you care, you know?
Well, I was still trying to get a pretty good deal, so I didn't want to ruffle any feathers.
Just be like,
Let me talk to the female manager because I'm sure she's in charge.
can I tell you where I work, you know? Do you want to know that first? I don't understand. But if it was on the phone, you probably would have just laughed it off and just
Right.
not thought of it. But because it was in person, it's more, wait, what? Did you, huh? Okay. Yeah, we both do. But I probably would have, I probably would have acted the same way because I would have been shocked and not thought about it. And then you always do that George Costanza driving home. You're like, oh, I should have said this,
Right.
you know? So.
Winning those fake arguments in the shower later
Yes.
on. That's how it usually works.
Well, and I wasn't mad per se, but I was more perplexed that in today's age where at least we have talked about the fact that the NFL fan is now, what, like 48%?
I think, yes,
female?
47%, the last number I saw.
Yeah,
is
so
female.
it has certainly grown a bunch. Now, granted, this person doesn't work in sports, so it's not like he's paying attention to
Right.
the fact that females are on the rise
Should ask him
watching
that.
the
Do
NFL.
you watch the NFL?
Right.
But-
Do you get paid to talk about sports?
Yeah, but, once I left, I was like, there are so many things I feel like I could have said to help him going forward. Like, dude, you should never ask that question again because, lo and behold, you are going to offend someone who doesn't necessarily work in sports, but absolutely, like, if my cousin, who is a diehard football fan, if he had asked her that question, I feel like she would have snapped right back and been like what you said, Blythe, I would like to speak with someone else. Your commission over this sale has now ended. I would like someone else.
And as a former DirectTV subscriber, if it rains, which it does in Jacksonville nearly every day during the summer and even late fall, your DirectTV signal is going to get messed up.
Well, and he did tell me.
And during the game.
He did tell me, and I found this interesting because I didn't know this. But
You have
he said,
two different channels.
yes, he said that as long as your technician sets your box up to be able to receive both the standard definition and high definition, you'll only lose high def, you'll keep standard def. So you can always go back.
And then I'm in the Stone Age.
But
watching
at least
football
you don't
games.
lose the game.
I mean, that's what we have, and I love it. I wouldn't do without it. But for me, it warns you. Like, you can clock it. So if it goes out, you're like, we're getting rain in 3 minutes.
Okay.
And so you can gather up.
You can prepare.
It's like this. Not when it rains every time, but if it goes out, you're getting a bad storm. You go out there and do whatever you need to do because your time is limited. But
I never knew that. My signal went out a few times during a Jaguars game, and I wanted to take a baseball bat to the satellite on my roof.
yeah, nope, clock it. Like
Well,
that.
because
It
it
tells
feels
you.
like, too, they should give you money back. They should, like, prorate your service because
Yeah, no, we
especially
tried that
the only
one.
times I know.
Or
We
something
did
like
really
a
want
tried
it.
that
pause,
argument.
like pause the feed. Or I don't understand why, like in modern technology, why we can't just pause the feed if it's gonna go out, and then when it comes back on, then you can stop where it went out.
Right. But
So
yeah, you get
if you're
the.
recording it and the service goes out and you go back and get you can't go
No,
back and get
it's
it
done.
lost. Okay.
Not unless
So you
you
definitely
record
have
it
to
on the
switch back.
standard.
Yeah, to standard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. JJ, you're a male, so you have a very different perspective than we do. Would you ever ask that question to someone, or do you think that question is sexist?
No. I mean, every girl I've ever been with doesn't care about sports.
Okay, so that is the opposite perspective, so I'm glad I asked. So if you were working at a store like that and you said to someone, does the man of the house watch it? And she snapped back and was like, excuse me, I work in sports, how would you react?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody reacted like that just because I know how it is nowadays. But I'm not a salesman for that reason. I wouldn't know what to say to sell a television in 2018.
By the way, the other thing is
I'd just be like, thank you for coming. I'm glad you're not on Amazon. It's amazing seeing someone in person.
Well, and here's the other thing that I feel like should have tipped this guy off. I had just finished running, so I stopped sweating.
You're obviously
I wasn't
athletic.
But so, and I'm not saying I'm athletic, but I certainly have been working out.
Right.
For me, athletic is like you have to be good at like hand-eye coordination, and I'm not, so I can't put myself in the athletic category. I'm very hard on myself in that category. But anyway, so I was wearing workout clothes and a Tampa Bay Rays hat. So shouldn't that indicate that at least I like sports, even if I'm not a diehard passionate fan, or even if I don't work in it? But shouldn't that indicate that at least I'm aware of sports?
Definitely. If you're wearing a Rays hat, I would. I mean, you got to be a fan if you like that crappy team.
I was going to say the opposite, the exact opposite. Because you are wearing a Rays hat, you know nothing about sports. That's where I would go, like, oh, this girl knows nothing. Why is she wearing that Rays hat?
Well, you can know about the team and also understand that they are terrible. But I do feel like that should have tipped him off to at least be like, okay.
It kind of sounds like he didn't know what he was talking about, and maybe just used to the old cliche of maybe he's asked that question a few times, and you just respond, no, the woman of the house actually really enjoys football.
Right. Like, I wouldn't have been offended at all.
And I certainly wasn't. Like I said, I responded just with, yes, he does, and so do I, and I moved right along. But later I was like, should I have helped him to where he doesn't ask that question again? Because at some point he probably is going to offend someone.
Probably. I mean, in lots of, I think conversation, especially those kind of conversations, are sort of lost on people nowadays. It's just you immediately get offended, and then all of a sudden you there's no, I guess, moving the conversation forward. So I think you handled it good. I would have just responded and be like, no, the woman of the house does. And actually, did you know that 47% of the NFL fans?
So more advice that I'm going to now solicit. So last night, once a month, I have friends who I've known for a very long time. We get together. It's a lot of times the only time that I see them throughout the month because almost all of them have kids, busy lives, obviously working in sports, busy life. So I try to always make a point to go to these dinners, even if, because obviously I get off work at 7, the dinner starts at 7, so I'm already late. So even if I'm tired and I don't feel like going, I still try to make a point never to miss, right? Well, last night, Gator Baseball, Game 3, it is a trip to Omaha is on the line for the team, my team that won the national championship last year. It is a very big deal to me as a sports fan. And so I had to really wrestle with the decision. And I literally asked, like, everyone I knew, all the guys on the show. I asked Brian, I'm like, what should I do? Because I don't want to be rude to them and show up but not be into the dinner.
Right.
Because I have this game to watch. But I also don't want to go and miss out. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because I got to see everybody and there was news to share and all that fun stuff. But so, if I had asked you that question yesterday, what would have been your advice to me? So I ended up going to the game and I ended up watching it on my phone. I ended up going to dinner and watching the game on my phone, which I felt like was a good compromise, that I was there, sort of, like half paying attention.
Who picks where the dinner is?
The person whose birthday is in that month gets to choose the restaurant.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it works out great. And so I got to watch the game on my phone and I was still listening to everyone. So I felt like it was a good compromise. But at the same time, I also felt like my friends who are not into sports at all were probably looking over, like, why does she have to be watching a game during the one time a month that we get together? What would have been your advice?
I kind of see both sides. Like, what my sports viewership has changed. If this was during a Jaguars game, they just forget it. Like, whatever social thing you got going on, just don't even bother sending the invite, because I'm going to be so super focused on the game. But I also think that football is different from a sport like baseball. Baseball, to me, is a very social sport. Like, you go and there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of time to talk, except for, in pivotal moments in bottom of the ninth or something like that. But I think that I think you played it right. In today's modern world, this is a luxury that we have. You used to have to sit around and wait until the 11 p.m. Sports Center just to be able to read the bottom line to see if your team won or not, or wake up the next morning and try to catch a glimpse of your team on the highlight reel. So in today's modern world, you absolutely can do both.
You are a much better friend than I am. I'll say that. Because I would have, convinced whoever's birthday it was that month to say, how about we switch months and I choose where it is so that I can watch it on the TV. So I would have chose a place where there's massive TVs. Or I would have just said, you know what, I'm going to sit over there at the bar where the TV is. You all have your dinner. I'll come and visit you when I can.
Yeah, and then I would have felt like, why even go?
Right.
Because I may as well just
That's
go
why
home.
I was like, you're a much better friend than I am.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
And the other excuse that I was easily going to come up with was, A, I've got Gator Baseball. B, I have to be on air at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So really, this just isn't working out.
I totally would have bailed with both of those things.
But I was proud of myself that I didn't, because
yes, as you should be.
It was a really good time to spend. It's not like we're there for 5 hours. And honestly, the only reason that we meet on Monday nights is because of my schedule, because I work Tuesday nights, obviously what we're doing right now, quote unquote work. I go see my grandfather every Wednesday, and then Thursday nights, usually in football season, I've got a show. And then obviously no one's going to meet on Friday nights or the weekends because they've all got families and we all want to do our own thing. So I'm the reason I meet on Monday nights. So I feel like it's like an extra reason that I absolutely have to go.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And none of them care about the game, so picking a sports bar I felt like would have been really selfish. And there's a big group of us, so I feel like we wouldn't necessarily have gotten as good of service. Plus, it would have been loud.
That's why I said you're much better friend than I am. I mean, I used to ditch my friends all the time. We would all go to a club or out somewhere, and they would be in one area, and the Sox would be on. I go, bye, I'm going over there. But then they look at me, and then I'm talking with all the guys. I'm like, well, I'm the smart one here. I got the guys and the game. You're all over there dancing with each other. Who wins? I do.
You can do all of those things, I think.
Yeah, and this was also the same, some of them were the same people who came on Friday to the show at Wicked Barley just so they could come hang out, support the show, and stuff like that. Yeah, so I feel like they are also equally as good of friends. I don't want to come out here looking like I'm this amazing friend. They're not. But anyway, thanks for the advice, ladies. I feel like I chose well. Yeah, I made good decisions. That is not always the case. So I feel good about it. All right, coming up next, we're going to get into impactful TV shows. Sex and the City is going to make a Helmets and Heels appearance. I don't think it has yet in our 4 years of broadcasting. So that is coming up next. Stay tuned to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Funders Homes on 1010XL.
Visit the all-new 1010XL.com. Featuring daily columns by Frank Franchi and David Lamb.
Who is it that a Texan secondary got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma? I saw it on the bottom ticker when I first came in.
Hi, this is Lauren Brooks. Making quality homes affordable, Dream Funders Homes is now selling in Deerfield Meadows starting from just the 230s. Just 10 minutes away from downtown St. Augustine shopping and dining, this quaint community is perfect to call home. Offering large 70-foot home sites with over 2/3 of them backing up to water views or conservation, Deerfield Meadows is a must-see. Invest in your future in St. Augustine at Deerfield Meadows. Dream Funders Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle.
Thank you.
I'm guessing.
Thank you.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I guess they added him to the roster since
this
he
year.
Hasn't played. I don't see anything new of 2018. Oh, 4 days ago. Hold on. Oh yeah, right here. Safety. Andre Howell diagnosed. Yep, Texan safety.
With leukemia or the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Lymphoma, leukemia.
That's weird that they would have 2 players.
That is weird.
Crazy.
Sad.
Yeah. Oh, Devers actually did something again.
No.
Oh, Rick's got to be tweeting that out.
If he's watching live, you never know.
Oh, well, he was last night. I was up. I stayed up and watched that.
Nice. I stayed up and watched.
Oh. I got invited to a wedding the day of the Steelers game.
I think I know what you're going to choose.
No, that one of our.
They're doing it on a Sunday, Ben? Because isn't that a Sunday night? That's actually a night game, right?
I think so. Yeah, forget that.
Sometimes it's cheaper getting there on a Sunday. Oh, Rick hasn't. Come on, Rick. There he is. Devers, don't question that young man anymore.
Sunday, November 18th. That's Steelers. I'm going to wedding Friday, November 16th.
Let me see. Percentage of female fans NFL. That's from Reuters. I see 45%.
Old. They're useless now too.
Who's that on the right?
Carr.
Is it Carr?
David Carr.
Dang.
Not Derek. David.
Thought for a second it was Sanchez.
No.
What is he doing? Is he still playing?
Sanchez?
Yeah.
So he got suspended for PED.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. Oh, that was a good Twitter time. Those jokes. That was a good one.
The hell for?
Get your money back.
That's
That
another
didn't
name.
work.
Jamal Charles. I feel like he's been playing in the league for 20 years.
Now, there's a guy who hates fantasy football.
Yeah, because he freaking sucks.
Yeah,
No,
he
like
visited
when he
somebody
won,
today.
You know, when he won that year, when he was the best.
Yeah.
And I tried at the Super Bowl getting him on with Dempsey for his fantasy show. He's like, no, I hate fantasy.
Oh. It's probably so many people are
So I was
complaining
like,
to him about his
that's more
lack
of a
of
reason that you
performance.
should come on. You're making it interesting. No. I'm like, all right, fine. Bye.
Mark Sanchez got suspended for PEDs a couple weeks ago.
Isn't that great?
That's how sad.
And he wasn't signed to anybody yet.
Trying to get back.
Mm. Yes.
They say this Aaron Donald's contract situation could have a ripple effect on the rest of the league. Because the Rams brought in signed all those free agents,
Yeah.
paid them all that money, and then their best
They're not
player,
gonna be able to keep him.
they're not going to be able to afford them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a homegrown talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he sat out mini camp last year and then came back for the preseason.
I'm sure Jacksonville can open up some bank for that.
Sure can.
Okay, so why should I come work in art? It's a family business with great reputation, excellent pay and benefits, and we are.
Girl or a boy, Donna?
Girl,
Hey, I'm convinced.
How do you feel about that?
excited.
That's your first daughter?
Yeah. I already have the little boy, so
There you go.
yeah. I'm excited.
I hope you were good when you're younger. It's always payback.
I was very good, which is what my son is. I have a feeling this one's gonna be very quiet and shy. Kyrie. Man, he's funny. What?
You think she'll be quiet and shy? Yeah?
Because JT is not.
Alright, here we go.
You know, he's anything but.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. My name is Blythe Grumleaf, and I'm joined alongside Donna Murphy and Lauren Brooks. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but I've been a writer for the majority of my life, since middle school. I've been blogging since 2009, so when my show growing up, one of my favorite shows of all time, Sex and the City, they celebrated their 20-year anniversary last week, which is ridiculous. They were around for 6 seasons. They had a couple movies. It was one of the first TV shows that really showed the importance of female friendship, especially among complicated women. You know, you had a woman on the show who thoroughly enjoyed sex. You have another woman who was career oriented. One of them that was, like famously single, Carrie Bradshaw, and then the other one, Charlotte, that just, wanted to spend her life just falling in love and getting married and doing the whole, picket fence and that sort of deal. But all of these women had a very strong friendship together on the show, and it was one of the more important shows of my lifetime. And did you ladies watch it all?
Oh, absolutely.
I watched it when it first came out, like the first season, because I was a senior in high school. So that's why he said 20 years. I'm like, crap. It's 20 years ago. But after that, it just kind of, I don't know, it never took to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I remember I was in New York visiting my aunt, because my aunt and uncle work in the city and live in New Jersey, and my aunt told me, she was like, I think I was like 14 at the time, like 14 or 15.
Ooh, and they let you watch
My
it?
aunt was like, do not let your mother know that I'm letting you watch this
Uh-huh.
show. She's like, but it's so New York. And that's how I sort of fell in love. I still own Apple laptops because of that show. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a mental thing for me.
So who are you?
I think I'm a little bit of each of them.
Oh, come on.
If I had to put one, it would definitely be Carrie, I think.
I was going to say, I don't see much of the Charlotte role, just because maybe I think of her style as so incredibly preppy and how
rigid and
she's so I don't see the Charlotte. I can see the mix, and well, I guess Miranda, the career part maybe.
Yeah.
But Miranda probably a little less too. But Carrie, I can see the Carrie part.
Yeah,
of it.
Carrie.
I couldn't relate to any of them.
Really?
Yeah, because did they ever talk about sports?
Well, no,
Like,
they
this is
did
such
it.
it was too girly.
Carrie
for me.
dated a Yankee.
Again, and in New York. So there's another reason why I would not watch it. It was just, it was way too girly for me. I think that's why I never took to it.
Oh well, I absolutely loved it, and there were times that I've taken trips to New York, and a life goal was to rent it did it a few years ago. It rented it in Airbnb really close to Times Square, and having that ability to like walk around New York City, and you're traveling on business, and you're it's just I don't know, it's just the to me New York City is the greatest city ever, and so being able to do some of those things that I grew up watching on this show, and hearing Sarah Jessica Parker recap those 20 years and how she was a part of she shot the pilot and forgot that she shot the pilot for the show. And then somebody stopped her on the side of the road and said, "Oh my God, I saw your pilot and it was fantastic." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then she remembered, and then she said it was almost like a roller coaster where it sort of just took off from there, and her career's never been the same.
I went to New York City when I was probably 21. I think I had just turned 21, and I went up with my grandparents, but I had an aunt who lived there, and I was going to go downtown to the city and meet people and all that. So I intentionally tried to pack clothes that I thought Carrie Bradshaw would be wearing in New York City, right? Well, the problem is she looked fabulous in all of her heels, but when you actually go to New York City, you do a lot of walking, and my feet hurt so bad that I was like looking to see if I could buy flip-flops anywhere. I'm like, I am so Florida that I need like flat shoes. What the hell was I thinking? Wearing heels when I don't even wear heels to begin with ever. Walking around all these blocks. So that was my curse of Sex and the City.
I know you look fabulous.
Oh, like thank you.
Say beauty is pain.
But yeah, no, that was one of the things is I love to see the different things she'd wear. I would never, it's not my style in the least to wear like super
she wore some crazy
funky
stuff.
Yeah. And I'm sure part of that was because it was a TV show. It wouldn't really be her fashion in reality.
Well,
but it was fun to watch. What I loved
she does kind of wear most of that stuff.
I guess
you seem like the award
She's
shows.
a little out there.
She is a little out
But
there.
you talked about the female friendship part. What I loved is how different they all were, yet how close their bond was. And I think, we were just talking in the last segment about getting together with girlfriends. I think it's really important to make that time, because you can get caught up in how busy your life is, and then you look up and you realize you haven't connected with other females in a while. And especially, yes, if you work in the sports world, there's a lot more men than women. And it's good, I think, to really like set that time aside and spend that time with your girlfriend.
Definitely, especially as lives change and your girlfriends get kids, and you saw it on the show, and how you have to adjust that friendship towards life changes. And if it's worth it, then you make those adjustments, and you make those sacrifices for your friends, and they do the same for vice versa. But
the show, by the way, was way better than the movies.
The second movie left a lot to be desired. I'll still watch it if it's on TV. It's like one of those things, if it's on a marathon, that I'll veg out on the couch and watch it. Who was your favorite of the men that she dated? I liked Aiden a lot. I still dream about the chair that he made for her, and I'm like, I want that chair, because it was just so, he made it like out of like this old antique wood, and it just looks so comfy, and I don't know, Aiden was really cool, and I love that she ended up with Big.
Yeah, I agree. Big always had like, and obviously it was the character, always had like the sexiness about him.
He was so New York too. Yeah,
but Aiden was by far my favorite.
Yeah. What about other impactful TV shows? Did any of them hold for you guys?
And you'll laugh, but this is what I grew up watching.
Oh, here we go.
But mine was I Love Lucy. I watched it every day, every night. They would do 24-hour marathons. For some reason around Christmas, I don't know why. And I would record them all on VHS.
Nice.
But that's where I learned my Spanish. From Ricky Ricardo. I knew forever that arroz con pollo was chicken and rice. That's how I found out about a lot of old actors, back in the day. It was great. I don't know.
Did your parents put you on it?
No.
Or you just started watching it and took to it?
My sister's around your age, and she's obsessed with that show too. Nick at Night used to show it every night.
That's immediately when I would change a channel on Nick at Night.
It's a good show.
Yeah, no, that's when I would tune it on.
Values, you sleep in separate beds when you get get my
Right? Exactly. But then you go in, you learn a lot about what she went through, and talk about female empowerment. Like she was the first one to wear pants on television, to break through, to have a female wear pants. It was the first interracial, couple. She fought for Ricky to be on there because they didn't want him on there. She was the first one to be head of a studio. They ended up buying, which was then RKO Studios, and she was the head of it.
Dang.
So she did a lot, and he was what you see now with the sitcoms with the 3-camera angle. He did that. He created the 3-camera angle. They were the first for a lot of things. So it's just a lot I learned from it. But yeah, that's where I learned my Spanish for sure.
That's adorable. We'll talk Spanish in the break, Donna.
No, that's all I know is chicken and rice. All I know is chicken and rice.
Oh, that's great. I would say I was trying to think of TV shows that actually influenced me. I mean, I watched a lot of things like Friends and Cheers.
Right.
And I guess you could say Cheers would influence me now if I'm ever in a bar, but I don't really think that it has anything to do with Cheers.
Do you want someone to yell, Lauren?
Absolutely not. No. So I settled on Seinfeld, and my mom used to say to me, sarcasm is unbecoming of a lady. And I think I got any and all sarcasm from Seinfeld because I don't know how I started watching it. No one else in my family did. And then once you start, I feel like you just get sucked in because it is, if you like that type of humor, it is really funny. And, you mentioned George Costanza earlier in the show, and I thought to myself, yep, exactly. That right. I can still think of different things that happen in that show. Like, for instance, the close talker one.
Yes.
I know someone who is a close talker, and so every time I'm around this person, I think of Seinfeld and how do they handle it. And so I feel like also situational humor. Anytime I'm in a situation, I feel like I'm going to try and make people laugh just based off solely what is going on around me. So I'll go with Seinfeld.
I agree with you. I mean, I was playing with Little Man's, one of his toys, and the toy character had giant hands, and I'm like, man hands. And you're just like, there's so many things that you think of. And I know Joe Cower on Midday Chalk almost does it every show. He's like, and he brings up some situational comedy that happened with Seinfeld, and you're like, yes, I know about that. And I heard him talk about it one day, and I was walking through Publix, and I saw babkas, and it was a chocolate and cinnamon. I took a picture. I'm like, which one should I get? Should I get the chocolate or the cinnamon babka? And it's just, you just remember every little episode. It's so funny.
See, it's one. Seinfeld was always one of those shows, sort of like Friends, where I would catch it here and there, but I wouldn't like religiously sit down and watch it. There's only been a handful of shows that have done that for me. So Lost is one of them. Friday Night Lights, Game of Thrones is still going on. So I don't know if that really counts for this discussion, but between
Dawson's Creek was the only show in high school that I would sit down and I had to be in front of the television for it. But I can't say it influenced me necessarily. I don't think it impacted my life. I just liked the show.
Right.
Yeah, none of I loved each one of those shows, but none of them impacted me like the way Sex and the City did. But
don't wear heels in New York City. That's my advice for
or just bring
what
a lot of women do. They just bring sneakers with them, like in their purse or their bag, and they'll wear them when they're walking around. Then when they get to the office, then they'll throw the cute shoes on.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of landmines on the streets, and you trip over, crack in the sidewalk or something, or somebody pushes you over.
One of my girlfriends last night got her fingernails and toenails done, like manicure, pedicure, that's what it's called, before dinner, and she got up to go to the bathroom, and I looked down, and she was wearing the green, like the neon green little flip-flops that they give you. I was like, you couldn't
Those aren't
change that?
No, and they're like paper thin. You can feel a rock on.
And now that you say that, it made me think of it.
Well, moving on to our next topic, body positivity, I think, is something that we all sort of strive to have. We want to feel confident in our own clothes when we're at home, yada, yada, yada. And I think over the past decade, we've seen sort of a shift in marketing. Companies like Dove, CoverGirl, just to name a few, have transitioned their messaging into being more inclusive, I guess is probably the right phrase to use. So for a while there was one idealistic beauty type, and it was probably a young white woman that's very slim, and now we see a lot of different beauty standards being represented across the board. But one of these writers online, rack.com, Amanda Mull, she is personally blaming these companies for their new marketing messaging, saying that basically women don't feel the confidence in their own skin because of these brands, and these brands are, it's basically just to use Robert Kraft's hogwash word, it's a bunch of hogwash that these brands are trying to use this tactic in order to sell their merchandise. And I have a little pull quote for you. And she said, body positivity has shed its radical practical goals in favor of an advocacy that's entirely aesthetic. Even when it's shied fashion designers for not being size inclusive on the runway, we gloss over the reason that they're not. The vast majority of fashion brands make no size inclusive clothing and don't see people with different bodies as worthy of being their customers. So a good example of this is a company called Everlane. They recently launched a new underwear line. In their promos, they're using women of different body shapes, but they do not sell plus size clothing. And so this is an example of that the writer is citing, that they're using it for marketing purposes, but they're not actually being a solution to the problem. And it's basically you're essentially blaming women, saying it's your fault, you don't appreciate your own beauty, but we're not going to offer you any kind of solutions. And I thought, I was fascinated by the article, because when I read the title, I was like, come on, like another person is sort of, is one more thing for people to be upset about. But I thought it was a fascinating take on it. What do you guys think about as far as the I guess, the marketing angle that these companies take? Does it make you want to buy their products? Because it did for me for a while, especially with Dove.
Well, with Dove, who obviously they do it right, because Dove can be for anybody, male or female as well. It doesn't matter who you are. By the way, they also now have Dove for baby, so I'm excited about that one. But for like what you said, like with that company that yes, they promote it, but then they don't sell it. It makes zero sense. I don't understand. I buy if I think what my body would look like. I don't buy because of, oh, I'm so happy they sell for everybody. I just buy what I think would look good on me.
Right.
So it doesn't sway me one way or the other, but I could see where it would be completely flabbergasting that you can't promote it if you don't sell it.
Right.
I don't think I buy any products based off of their marketing. I think, like beauty products, I'm always going to ask someone that I trust, that I know uses the product, and get their opinion. I'm never just going to be influenced by, for instance, a magazine ad and then look through and be like, well, does that person have my skin? Because I do recognize that they're going to be completely photoshopped, so therefore I'm not going to be able to identify with those skin types per se. I do think at some point this movement needed to happen. Whether or not the companies are always truthful in their behind the scenes part of it, I don't know. But at some point we needed to shift away from kind of the 90s ideal woman that was created for magazine covers, right? Like you said, white and super like bones, thin,
unhealthy,
skinny. Almost like anorexically skinny. And that did need to shift. And I think we've gotten to a great place as far as now everywhere you look, there are different shaped women, at least. So I go on Like to Know It, one of the apps for fashion bloggers all the time. And there are fashion bloggers of all shapes and sizes. Now, granted, this isn't being funded by a company per se, but obviously they're finding awesome clothes that people want to buy, and then they're showing those off. So I think we're starting to get to a better place where the expectation of a woman is not that she's 90 pounds at 5'8". Does
morality matter as far as a company is concerned? As far as their morals and their business practices. I ask this because it sort of ties in with this article, but Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, he sent out a tweet that he said he was enjoying Chick-fil-A, and he got a bunch of crap online for it because the owner, I guess, famously said that he doesn't support gay marriage. It's currently Pride Month, so a lot of people hammered him, the CEO of Twitter, because he was just enjoying a damn chicken sandwich. And so it sort of brings to sort of bring this conversation full circle. Like I really don't care about a company's moral practices to an extent. I just want a good product at an affordable price, like selfishly.
Well, I think it depends on what what type of morality you're familiar with that company, right? Like if you find out that a company, to get you these towels that you love, is not paying their workers or is mistreating their employees, then I think that type of employee mistreatment
Or
is
testing
going,
on animals. I know
sure,
that's
it's
a big
going,
one.
that's going to affect you per se. You're not going to continue to buy those towels just because they're cheaper than the next brand. You're going to go, oh, well, they're not treating their employees properly. I'm going to switch brands. But as far as, I don't usually know what a company's big, thoughts on it are, because typically a company is shaped by so many different people. Yes, you may have the CEO. The CEO's values may be completely different than the people who are actually making the product. So for me, I try to stay out of all of that anyway.
Just buy products that you like, and hopefully they align with your morals. And then if news comes out that they don't, like I think Kat Von D, makeup brand, she came out today and said that she was, or not today, but she confessed that she is one of the anti-vaxxers. So there's been, all the makeup blogs that I follow, like they're all, boycotting her products now because of that.
Because why? I don't understand.
Because she's pregnant and with her first child, and she's an anti-vaccine person.
Okay. So it's not affecting them with their makeup. They just disagree with her philosophy.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is what gets you into trouble if you are a very successful company and even putting out your philosophy, which, going back to the Chick-fil-A, not saying anything about the gay part of it, but Chick-fil-A is obviously very outspoken about being closed on Sundays for families to be able to, go to church and stuff like that. So you could say, oh, well, that's a great thing. And then, you find out about the gay part and you're like, oh, well, now I'm torn. So it's easier if the companies just completely stay out of the
I just want a good chicken sandwich.
Religion, politics world, and focus on their products. Speaking of chicken sandwiches, after we speak with Ashlyn Sullivan, I want to know where the best burger in Jacksonville is in light of iHop switching to iHOB. Certainly that has been all over the news and social media. But coming up next, we are going to talk to Ashlyn Sullivan, Jaguars.com digital reporter and host, and get a dose of Daly's Place, as well as check in with her about the Jaguars mini camp that began today. And we're going to give away a Peterbrook chocolate heel. That is all next, so keep it right here on 1010XL.
I'm Matthew
Home run by Benintendi.
Let's see. Best burgers. We'll start naming off.
I like how we all had completely different shows. That was funny. I knew you guys weren't gonna pick I Love Lucy.
Oh yeah, I figured yours would be not one that I had.
No.
I don't know.
Seinfeld was my high school years. So
I watched The Cosby Show a lot growing up, but I don't think, obviously in light of what recently happened, that has nothing to do with it. But I don't think growing up watching that it changed me, or impacted me. I think I was just watching TV.
Maybe The Simpsons.
Not thinking.
I used to tape The Simpsons on VHS,
okay,
and I had the episode guides, and I would mark off which episode I had, almost like trading cards, which one I was missing in order to complete the season.
But how would that show have impacted?
Yeah, it didn't impact me at all.
Maybe your relationship with your brother or something, they would show
They're
Lisa.
Big into games now, and they're animated.
I still I'll watch the seasons 4 through 10. I would still watch today.
Is it still on live?
Yeah, they're still
live. Is it still on?
I think
today?
they just hit their 20th season.
Oh, more than that.
I was gonna say, if it's still on, it's got to be
It's more than 20.
They debuted in '91, I think.
Yeah,
maybe they passed an episode milestone last season. That's what it was. But I haven't watched since season 12. That's when it.
And that's why it's amazing to me that those shows are still on, because I don't know a single person who.
But I follow all their.
First aired in '89.
Wow. Okay, so they're approaching 30 years. Yeah.
Holy hell.
That's what I figured. It had to be a long time.
See, I learned a lot. I read a lot of biographies about Lucy while watching that. And so that's how I learned about, wow, she did that. So I think that more, I saw the female aspect. But definitely my Spanish.
I didn't want to be Elaine. I knew that. Watching Seinfeld. I loved Elaine, but I didn't want, I didn't want to be
I thought she was so...
She was funny and all that, but she had that kind of that snarky side. Yeah. And so I didn't. I
loved that. I'm
but
I wish I could say things like that. I wish I could just go up to people and be like,
her dance.
Right? With the shoes, remember? When the lady wouldn't help her buy the shoes, the Mexican shoes, and she's commission, bye! I'm I would love to do that, like Pretty Woman did, I would just...
I loved all the Peterman catalogs.
Yeah.
Because I thought I wanted to write for J. Crew. How are you? Okay? I'll be real fast.
So funny.
J. Peterman. Remember the J. Peterman tour?
Oh yeah.
I love that.
With it was like a mini candy bar.
And then he sold him all his life stories that he couldn't tell him anymore.
Right.
He didn't own his own life stories. They're Petermans now.
Dude.
That's a Peterman.
That show, man.
Who else? She worked for Mr. Butts or Mr.
Oh yeah, who is that?
The old guy. He
Oh,
had to like cut his
yeah, the socks.
sneakers and fucking put on his socks. Yeah.
Oh, what was his name?
Mr. Butts?
Seems like
Because he
45%
thought
is
that
based
she
on-
looked like Jackie Onassis.
Yes, I have no idea who that is.
What? You don't know who that is?
No.
Please tell me you're kidding.
What is?
Oh.
We were talking about Seinfeld and how Elaine used to have the other boss she used to work for. I can't remember his name. She had to buy his socks.
I'm good.
I said, oh yeah, he hired her because she looked like Jackie Onassis.
Oh,
He goes,
and-
I have no idea who that is.
Maybe if you said Jacqueline Kennedy Jacqueline
Maybe.
Onassis Kennedy or Jacqueline Kennedy, maybe then. Because the Onassis part might have thrown him off.
Yeah, so who is that?
Jacqueline Kennedy?
Oh, that's not what you said though.
See,
Because
that's
her
what I
name is
figured.
Jacqueline
Oh,
Onassis.
She went by. She got remarried, so she
Yeah.
went by
Jacqueline
Onassis.
Onassis.
that kind of stuff.
She had the glasses.
You scare me. You scare me over there. Oh, Daly's Place. I included them in my tweet today.
You did?
Yes, I did. And I will bring that up.
Lauren, do you remember Elaine's, not Peterman, but her other boss, Mr. Butts, or the old guy she had to always take care of?
I don't
It's
remember his
bothering
name. I know it's going to be Peterman, but I just Googled it.
Man, I'm ready for football.
You know George's old boss that
Which one?
he tried to give the human fund to? That guy in real life tried to shoot himself in the head, didn't
Ooh.
kill himself. You can go on YouTube. There's a 911 call of him after he tried to kill himself, getting the ambulance. Yeah. It's
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I was like, but dude, you were George's boss.
Right? The human
Mr.
fun.
Pitt.
Yes, not
Mr.
Bud.
Pitt.
Pitt.
He died in
Damn.
2012, apparently.
Oh.
But either way,
All right, here we go.
thank you. You have a song for after?
Yep.
Okay.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Lauren Brooks, Donna Murphy, Blythe Brumley with you as we welcome in Ashlyn Sullivan, Jaguars.com digital reporter and host. Good evening, Ashlyn. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We are fantastic, thanks. By the way, what was your favorite TV show growing up?
My favorite TV show growing up? Probably Boy Meets World. That was-
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
That
What
is
was
a
her
good one.
name? She had a unique name.
Topanga.
Yes, Topanga. Well done, everybody. I also liked Clarissa Explains It All.
Yes.
That was another good
Yep,
one.
good one.
All right, let's get to Daly's Place where a lot of action is happening. What's going on over the next couple months, Ashlyn?
Yeah, we've had a few weeks break at Daly's Place, and I actually just met with the marketing team today for Daly's Place, and they're really trying to amp up the summer at Daly's Place and really making it a place where people can go on the weekends, even during the weekday, and just go have fun. So there's a lot of concerts on slate for June and July, and now even more so in August. So it'll be a summer full of concerts, and they really want to drive that there's a place to have fun this summer on Saturday and Sunday nights, and we even have some during the week shows on Thursdays and Fridays. So they're really trying to drive that home that it is a place to go in Jacksonville.
Ashlyn, I definitely tweeted at Daly's Place today because I saw the tweet from Michael Bublé saying he's back in studio. I'm like, yes, next summer, man. He better be here at Daly's Place, so they better be prepared.
I hope so. He's a great fit. I think you'd have a really good show at Daly's Place.
Yes, I completely agree. So we know that we had a couple big announcements a couple weeks ago, including Dierks Bentley. Any new announcements coming up soon?
Not that I know of. I know they're trying to book football season. They're trying to get a concert almost before every home game. They're still working on that, but it would be a really cool thing if that is able to happen where you have a concert on Saturday night, getting everyone excited for the game, have a game on Sunday, make it a weekend full of things to do at Daly's Place and CIA Bank Field. So I know that it's still the work, that's still the goals. I think they're still working towards that.
Tedeschi Trucks Band is one of the, I guess, a repeat visitor for you guys over at Daly's Place. And you guys got to interview with them recently, did you?
We did. We're actually sitting down with them next Tuesday, but we met with them on the phone today, going through their whole story and full circle. They opened up Daly's Place last spring, so it's really cool to see a full year from now how much has changed at Daly's Place for us working at Daly's Place, and then for them going on tour, how much has changed for them in a year. And they talked a lot about the Jaguars and just how cool it was to see this team come full circle and being from Jacksonville, and they've been ticket holders for many years. It just, they took away the artist side of it and just spoke as fans about how cool it was to see the team do so well. And they said they're going to talk about that on stage and really connect with the people at Daly's Place during their concert about the Jaguars. So it's great that they can tie those two things together.
Well, and that's a band that, if you flip on the radio, you may not necessarily hear Tedeschi Trucks on the airwaves, but they are a fantastic local band, and Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks are so individually so talented that I feel like people should not sleep on that concert.
Absolutely. No, I don't. Derek Trucks just got named as one of the top 100 guitarists of all time. So compare that with a great voice like Susan, and they're just such a cool couple together. They're really folksy, and you can tell they just have a great repertoire on stage. So I definitely agree with you. There's not someone that you would not want to go see.
Ashley, let's go on and move on to the Jags. Someone who we haven't seen all offseason would be Jalen Ramsey as he showed up today. How excited were you?
I was excited. It was great to have the whole team back together. I was actually very excited to hear his press conference. I always love hearing what he has to say. I think he handled it perfectly. He addressed what he needed to address, and he was just typical Jalen fashion like we always thought he would be. So it was nice to have the whole team back together, even if it is just for a few days. But they both showed up. Him and Fournette looked like they were in great shape. Really proved the doubters wrong that thought that they wouldn't come back ready, because they both looked great at practice today, I thought.
Vibe-wise, what's the difference between the team with mini camps and at OTAs?
Really isn't much difference at all. Doug Marone spoke about this morning, that the really only difference there is that one's voluntary and one's mandatory. They really, the practice team as a whole and the periods kind of looked almost exactly the same. It was a little more specific towards positions, but as a whole, it's really not that much different.
If you had to pick an MVP from today's practice, who would it be?
MVP from today's practice, I would say Tanner Lee. Tanner Lee, the quarterback, threw some great balls today. He threw one to Alan Lazard down the sidelines that was awesome. So he, at times, has looked so great. So he can really throw a deep ball. He can really throw a spiral. And at times, he does look like a rookie. He looks inconsistent at times, which we all expect. So I think if he can get just the nerves down and get really used to just being on an NFL field, I think he really has a chance to do well with the team.
Yeah, Coach Marone in his press conference talked a lot about Andrew Norwell as well, and he seems very excited to have this gentleman on board.
Absolutely, yeah. And what does he call him? A lunch pail type of guy.
Yep.
I love that saying. That's exactly what he is. Comes to work every day, excited to be there. It was hard during OT to really tell his significance, just because with offensive linemen and defensive linemen, it's hard when they don't have pads on, as we all know. But I think I'm really excited to see what he does during training camp. But you can tell just how he meshes with the O-line right now as a whole. He's definitely making the impact that they wanted him to have.
Awesome. Well, Ashlyn, thank you so much for joining us, as you do every week, and we look forward to next week.
Of course. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Absolutely. I will probably see you Thursday at minicamp. Can't go tomorrow, but Thursday should be a lot of fun. All right, time now for JJ to give someone a chance to win the Peterburg Chocolate Heel. Such a good choice, JJ. All right, text into the 1010XL text line driven by Duval Ford, 641-1010. The first person to guess either the name of the song or the artist correctly will win tonight's Peterburg Chocolate Heel. I'm not going to give any hints other than to say my parents already have tickets for this concert, and this band did play last year at Daly's Place, so there is a little bit of a hint. But what a great choice. I have tickets to Dierks Bentley, Brothers Osborne, and Landco at Daly's Place. Do Do you have any summer concerts on the horizon?
I wish I did. I have, I said earlier in the show, I have a couple Disney trips planned. I just took one last weekend. I'm taking more next week. So that is the extent of my plans right now, because I've already sort of mentally in my mind, I'm like, in July, I'm not doing anything. Just nothing. I don't want to commit to any kind of social obligations, but I know there's going to be a concert that comes up. I mean, Dierks Bentley is obviously one of them that I would definitely want to go to. Brothers Osborne is another one that I would want to hit up for at Daly's Place.
Well, good news for you is they're the same night, and it's not until September.
And then outside of that, I know there's a couple rap shows that I would want to go to too. But yeah, that's so far and away for me. I'm just thinking about next week and surviving the rest of this month.
Sounds like Orlando takes a lot out of you.
It does.
I was supposed to re-energize
No,
you.
it does. But then, the whole process of getting back, packing, all that good stuff.
Well, if you have not been to a concert yet at Daly's Place, I highly recommend it. It is so much fun. And we were talking earlier about Intuition. Intuition's right there. You can go get a pre-concert meal and some beverages, walk right on over, and with your tickets, you get parking right in Lot J. So it's an absolute blast, and this is the perfect time of year for summer concerts. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into some topics I never thought I would say. Pregnancy and toenails. Never thought I'd say in the same sentence, at least. And a little bit of sportsmanship as well. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
I'm stumping myself on this best burger.
I just thought your answer was Epic Burger far and away, no?
Yeah, I have them on my list, but I'm like, I know there's somebody I'm missing. Best burger, Jacksonville.
My true and honest answer are Brian's Burgers. He makes the best hand-pat, perfectly seasoned with the kind of exact cheese that I want. If I want 2 cheeses, I can get it with the exact bun I want, or if I don't want a bun, I don't have to have one with lettuce and tomato and pickle. That's exactly how I want my burger, with my own mayonnaise and mustard. My own combination.
I like trying different ones. I had a caprese burger over the weekend.
A place that someone else can eat a burger at. You had what? Sorry.
A caprese burger over the weekend that I didn't think that I would like, and I really liked.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I had it at the ESPN Cafe.
What did you say, sorry?
They come here to get their fries?
Yes.
The chocolate heel.
I can't imagine how many more we have left. I feel like
we got
never
more
ending.
Yeah, we got more in.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
I always let them know when we're late.
I'm gonna have to get a burger.
Oh, that's
this.
how it works. Okay.
Well, Burger Fi's good. I've been there, but they're not local, so I'm not picking them.
My place isn't local, but it's my favorite.
That's what you're supposed to say.
Mine just happens to be local and my favorite.
Delicious.
Oh yeah, them too.
See, should I go like?
Pose is good too. I haven't been there in a minute.
There's 2 different ones. There's like a pre-pregnancy, and then right now, what burger I want all the time.
I'm a big turkey and veggie burger fan too. So like at Pose, I can get the black bean burger or turkey burger. For some reason I don't like burgers all the time out, but I love them at home. But I'll get something healthy out. Why is that?
It's
it's
a unique taste. Like I feel like there's a picnic burger, there's a going out burger, like a gourmet type burger, and then there's like fast food burger. And I crave each one of them.
I don't eat fast food.
Oh, I love McDonald's. A double. Oh, a McDouble or a quarter pounder.
2 of them and a medium fry.
And you know what? That's one of the healthiest things you can get in fast food is a McDouble and a small fry from McDonald's.
The fry can't be healthy.
It's something like 600 calories total.
For all of it?
For all of it.
The fat, though, must be, at least with the burger's not that unhealthy, but the fries, I feel like with the grease.
Well, it depends on your carb level intake, because carbs refine sugar, or it turns into sugar. If you're trying to stay away from carbs, just don't get it bunless or whatever. But damn.
You okay over there?
She's just kicking, so I had to get up.
Does she stop kicking if you get up?
Yeah, she likes me moving her.
Oh, okay.
Does it hurt, or are you just like, ugh?
No, it's just, yeah, it's like somebody, like if somebody flicks your belly, but from the inside.
Oh.
So
can you make them stop if you rub your stomach?
Well, that might make her mad, you know.
Does she sleep when you sleep? If she likes you moving? Oh, well, that's really good.
Yeah. JT would not let me sleep on my side. I'm a side sleeper.
Oh,
You
yeah.
side sleeper?
I'm a sleep all kinds of ways sleeper.
I like to fall asleep on my
Yeah, I
side.
sleep
Doesn't
on
matter
my
which
side
one,
now.
but yeah, with him I had to sit up and just.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it was bad. This one, she's like, yeah, wherever you want.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, if she starts kicking me while I'm sitting or laying down, I gotta get up.
Get up and
But she stopped.
But what do
She
you do
hasn't
in the
done
middle of the night? That's when she doesn't
She
do it.
sleeps.
Okay, so that's good.
She's asleep. Hopefully she's
I was
like
gonna
that.
say, yeah. Well, but I mean, do you have one of those swings that moves automatically?
Yeah, I don't have one of those like the alien looking ones. You
Oh
know?
yeah, no, not that one, but just the
No.
one that moves.
Kinda, yeah.
Because if she likes, movement.
Right. But we put
Excuse me.
we got a ton of stuff.
Oh, have y'all been at BurgerFi is off South Side, right? Or Town Center?
the town center.
There's also another one somewhere.
I've been to. Sorry, what'd you say?
There's another one somewhere.
There's a brand new one called Rub Burger at the town center that I have not been to
I
yet.
haven't tried that one yet either.
Um,
I like the name of it, so it makes me want to go.
yeah, it's right by the
PGA Tour.
Superstore. Yeah, on that side. And Mission Barbecue.
How are you?
And then there's.
Let's see if BurgerFi is gonna be open after this because I'm getting a burger.
You would think so at the town center.
If anything, McDonald's is open.
Yeah, that's that. I'm thinking like health wise, like I probably need to go there.
All right, here we go.
There you go.
Even though I did eat like a queen this past weekend. I took the boy to Disney, our first little trip. Should have seen his eyes light up when he met Jasmine.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Untitled Chapter and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Tis the season for vacations, it appears, I just got back Sunday night from a family vacation up to North Carolina. Our wonderful niece, Rylan, graduated high school. So the whole family got together, and I took JT with me. It was his very first flight.
Wow.
And he was awesome.
Of course.
Fantastic. Of course. He was so great. But something happened on the flight home that I must have looked at the lady weird, because the way that she responded to my answer was weird. But we're sitting there waiting. Our flight was delayed, and so we're at the airport in Greensboro, and I'm not due until September, okay, late September. So I'm not near my due date yet, okay? But I am carrying a girl, which makes women usually bigger. It makes us wider.
Huh.
I don't know why.
That was my next question. Why is that?
I don't know why. And immediately when I realized I was pregnant, I got wide fast. I couldn't wear any of my clothes. I was in pregnancy clothes that I finished in with JT right away. So that's no good. That's not a good sign. But anyway.
But it's not like you've gained that much weight. Your body doesn't change.
Yeah, the body just got wide. Yeah. So the lady,
she's as big as a house, folks.
She comes walking by, and I had to move, a backpack out of the way so she could sit down. And she's like, "Oh, how far along are you? 8 months?" First of all, just end it with how far along are you. Don't assume how far along I am, because you already asked, how far along are you? So no, I'm not 8 months. So I laughed. I go, I know, I probably look at, no, I'm 6. She's like, oh, carrying one?
Oh, hell.
I go, yep, but it's a girl, and they make us big. So, I get it if you're a dodo. I get it, kind of the same topic.
Yeah, was she older, or
see,
or did she have kids?
I don't think so. And that's also another topic where you don't want to get in trouble because I can't tell her age.
Right.
She might be my age. She might be, mid to upper 30s. I don't know.
That's the question you should have thrown back at her. How old are you? Close to 40.
But I'm just sitting there going, you're female. Shouldn't you know better than to ask these stupid questions? And so I know my face had to have, my eyes must have read it because immediately she was like, okay, good luck. And then went away. So I was like, I don't understand what just happened,
I think, isn't the proper phrase, when are you due? As long as you know 100% sure that
which I have gotten that a ton.
When are you due?
Right. When are you
that
due?
way you don't paint yourself into a corner by guessing.
Right.
How far along
I would never guess. Unless you're at a baby shower and that's it's a game that you play or something.
I also think you have to be careful guessing a child's age, especially babies between, say, 8 months and even 4 months and say a year and a half.
Some are ginormous.
Right, because some are. Right, absolutely. And you don't want to make it sound like you're saying, well, your baby is too small or your baby's too big or your baby's underdeveloped. You just stay away and just ask.
Seinfeld, your baby is ugly.
Correct. Just ask, how old is your child, right? If you want to know, don't get into the guessing game. So same thing applies for pregnancy.
I mean, isn't that weird? Because when you brought up the, getting the TV service, and he asked, if this is man of the house, watch NFL, I felt like the same thing. I expect more from you females. Don't assume how far along I am. I was more baffled. I wasn't hurt. Because clearly I am big. I know this.
You're not even. Honestly, you just look pregnant. No other part of your body looks big. You just have obviously you're pregnant.
Right. But and I get it. And that's what happens. So I'm just laughing. I'm why are you guessing?
I think you should have told her you were birthing 8 babies.
Right. She was probably
mortified. Don't I look good for birthing 8 children next month?
Maybe she was mortified and realized what she said afterwards. I gotta get out of here.
For sure, because that conversation ended.
Well, especially the way she said just one. It should be
and she's
you look great. That's
one?
what she should have said.
And it was the crinkle brow, really? Are you telling me the truth? You only have one in there?
I feel like that's karma. She's going to get knocked up with triplets and be as big as a house.
Now, granted, in her defense, the little one in there is growing much faster than what she should be right now.
But you still don't say something like that.
There is a bigger baby.
How much does said baby weigh?
About 2 weeks farther along than I am.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad.
No. That still doesn't go 8 months. Anyway, so from pregnancy to something else with our bodies. And this conversation, if my family's listening, I love you, family. I do. But this had me rolling so hard. Somehow we got on the topic of how do you manicure your toenails? And I think because, yes, it was before we left. I was down at my parents'. And my dad had to trim his toenails. And so I trim my toenails the same way he does, but nobody else in our family does it the same way. We use the little tiny baby scissors that have the curvature, at the end.
Yeah.
So
I've never used those before in my life.
That's what. So him and I are the only ones, and so my mom's making fun of us. So then I'm like, well, let's bring it up, So then we asked my brother when we see him. Dinner. We asked my other brother when we see him. We're asking everybody, and they're making fun of my dad and I. I'm like, how is it just us two? Am I alone in this? Is using scissors on your nails weird?
I think that's weird. I mean, I use nail clippers.
But don't you want to shape them?
Well, if I'm being 100% honest.
That's what a file is for.
Well, yeah, but I usually will get a pedicure to do that. I don't do it myself very often. I feel like I can blame it on being tall, and it's a very far reach. But also, I just prefer when someone else does it and paints them, and I'm done. So I don't do it very often myself, but if I were to, then I would just, use clippers. I almost never file my toenails. You just clip and they go straight across, and I'm done. Boom.
But then don't you have the pointy edges?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I file mine. I on a road trip driving down to Orlando last week, I did my toes and my nails in the car, and a part of me thought, is this disgusting right now? To do them in the car?
You clipped them in the car?
I did everything. I gave myself a manicure and a pedicure in the car.
Did you pick up your clippings and throw them away?
Well, I will say I didn't need to use the clippers per se, but I did
file.
The Puma Stone and file where the dust is going everywhere.
Have you
I don't know,
taken
that
the
was
mat
gross.
outside and
No,
like,
my car's
shaken it?
dirty, so no, I haven't even unpacked yet from this weekend. So no, I haven't.
I hear you. I haven't unpacked my toiletries. That's for
But
sure.
I was filing my, shaping my nails, and the dust is going everywhere, and I'm like, is this gross to do this right now? Because my brother has made fun of me for doing it in front of him before. He's like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
But see, I take that with the file. A lot of that, though, is the dust from the file.
Yeah, but file is different than the pumice stone. Like, she's like getting dead skin off.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dead skin.
That's then
It was, and the air
in her
conditioner's
car.
blowing, so
It's going everywhere.
So who was in the car with you that was witnessing this?
my boyfriend was in the car, and I was like, is this, and a part of me thinking, like, is this gross right now? And I was like, oh well, I need to have cute feet for the weekend, so
So
gotta
was
do
the
it.
If he's still with you, then it was.
I didn't ask.
Oh, you didn't ask?
No, I just didn't.
I was going to say I would be really intrigued to know his answer. I mean, I think like painting your nails and stuff, although in the car it's such a small space. I was painting my nails in the bathroom today, and when Brian came home, he's like, you can get high in here, and I had the door open. So I feel like in the car it's even worse.
He did mention, because I couldn't paint them until we stopped for gas, and so when he's inside doing his thing in the gas station, I'm frantically like painting every single nail so I can get them done before like the bumpiness of the car. And he came back in and made it. And he was like, "God, you're sitting in here the whole time with this smell."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
It's
really even
intense.
notice it. It's. I think I've just done my nails for my entire life, unless I splurge a little and go have somebody do it for me. But usually I can do a pretty good job with it, so I just do it myself.
JJ, are you a clipper or are you a scissor user? I almost said a bad word.
I have like this long gripped, it's not scissors, but it's hard to explain. But it's not the really tiny ones either. Like when I'm doing my toenails, I'm going hardcore. And unfortunately, I bite my fingernails, so.
So you don't need to clip yours.
Well, that's
yeah.
fine. But see, I
It's
go.
not fine. That's disgusting. You know, when I was little, my mom used to make me, like real little, she put on this clear,
Yep.
so I wouldn't
Yep.
bite my nails.
Because it tastes nasty.
Yeah.
And I was such a savage, I bit right through it. I was like, get this out of the way. I gotta get to these bad boys.
I had to use that too when I was
Terrible.
growing up. Yeah, but so you still haven't shaken the habit.
No.
You haven't kicked it.
No,
Okay.
I smoke and I bite my nails. It's terrible. It's a mouth to hand thing. If I didn't do that, I'd be 400 pounds.
Oh, that's fantastic. I learned that I bite my nails when I read. Like it's just like read a book. So I stopped reading books, and here we go. Now I don't bite my nails. So maybe you should try that, JJ.
Reading a book, huh?
Yeah, reading a book because I, like he said, you know, you're kind of like your hands
Yeah.
at least are
Right.
bored, and you'd think holding the book would be sufficient, but no, you can hold the book in one hand, and then
That's
I would
funny.
just But once you graduate from school, you don't have to read nearly as much, and then you can have nice nails.
Well, then apparently I'm the only one. I just find it easier to shape. That way I can just cut and then I'm done. There's no filing. There's no nothing. Because that's what I do to little man's toenails and fingernails. But I'm on my own.
So raising a third generation scissor.
Right? I'm on. It's just me
That
and my dad.
sounds terrible. I shouldn't even say
That's-
that.
I'm a scissor
Yikes.
user is what I am.
Yes.
So this has made the rounds. This obviously went viral about the high school, sportsmanship with the baseball. And I loved it. I thought it was fabulous. If you don't know, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. It is.
Yeah,
I
by now
think-
everybody's seen it.
I would think so. It's very moving with the pitcher who's pitching, trying to strike out his childhood friend, his best friend growing up, strikes him out. His team wins, but instead of celebrating, he goes and he hugs his best friend and consoles him, and who knows what they say. But I found it awesome. I thought it was a sweet story. It's stories we don't get to see very often. Is it something that you enjoyed? Is it something that you would have done?
I loved it. I absolutely would have done it, and I'm shocked at how many people have said either via social media or like Prasha this morning.
Yeah.
I think that is just plain dumb. Like that kid should have gone and celebrated with his team and then talked to his friend after the fact. It's sports. It's not about, it's not about consoling your friend in that moment. It's about the fact that you won and your team comes first before friendship or anything like that. I can't believe how many people have said that when I think it's such a great moment where he recognizes that he hurt, emotionally, he hurt his friend. And so therefore he's going to say, nothing between the two of us has changed, but that's what I had to do.
Yeah, and definitely, it's definitely a good sportsmanship, and you look at a kid like that, and my first thought was that kid was raised right, and I would look at that situation, and I hope that I would have that kind of reaction too, but I would probably think that I would celebrate with my teammates first, and then just caught up in the moment of the situation, and then realize, oh crap, that is my childhood friend. Let me go, say what's up to him, at least give him a handshake, talk to him for a hot second, because he's going to be dealing with that, for a couple days. But I'd probably do a little of both, of celebrating with your team and then going to console him.
Yeah, I agree. It takes a really special kind of person.
And to be thinking about that on the mound, to me, maybe the batter was thinking more about that matchup than the pitcher was, because the batter got caught looking. So,
well, and the one thing I did think, though, it says, they've been best friends or whatever. Well, they met when they were 13, and they're just in high school. So I was kind of like, well, you can't have been best friends forever if it's only really been like
that is their whole
3
life.
years. You know what I mean?
That
yeah,
is
and
their
so
whole life.
The only thing, he said they are close friends, but so I did wonder. If they're not that good of friends, then yes, it was kind of a dramatic moment. But obviously, the emotion that you saw was real and raw. So I think it was a fantastic moment to show that winning can take a back seat for a second. We all actually debated when the Astros won the World Series last year and Carlos Correa proposed to his girlfriend. And I think Donna and I said, yes, that's awesome. And Blythe, you were like, no,
I am anti, 100% against it. Still am.
So I put that in the same kind of category. Like, Correa was like, you know what? Family is awesome. We just won. I'm putting victory, not on the back burner. I'm going to go celebrate with my teammates. But I also am going to celebrate this now with this special person now, who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I think all of those moments are awesome to celebrate.
But she wasn't playing on the field. No. Save it for another day. Celebrate with the teammates in that regard.
Well, let's see if LeBron is celebrating or not.
Probably not.
That'll be a topic coming up next, as well as where's the best burger in Jacksonville? What do we
everyone needs to know.
Coming up more next on Helmets and Nails, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
From the line of scrimmage.
So one of the gifts that my brother and his wife gave their daughter, my niece, they're at Baltimore at the baseball game. They gave her a trip to Baltimore. So them three are there at the Sox game. So cute. So fun.
Okay,
barbecue. That's who I should see is still open. Epic Burger. Hours. 9 p.m. Damn it.
You mentioned Pose. They might be open later.
They're kind of out of the way. Not really, but kind of. 5 hours. 10 p.m. Nice. Good.
Go.
We had a guy that waited like an hour on the line the other night, so we wanted to give him a prize.
Yeah.
Do you just have something that...
We got shirt and, little things. You can, just fill one
out.
out. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Of course.
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode when I think it was Jerry couldn't remember his girlfriend's name, and they were like, rhymes with.
Yeah. And I am still confused. What body part?
Right?
No, but her name. What was her real name? I'm like, I don't understand what that rhymes with. I'm so confused.
I thought it was.
Right?
I thought it was.
Well, no, that's what they were saying.
Yeah,
it was, but that's not what it was.
Why is Hank Aaron trending? Okay. Whew. There's always that moment of truth when you see somebody trending. You don't know if they're died or not.
Yeah.
Or they got sexually assaulted.
I did that with Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
I was like, I swear to God, if Morgan Freeman died, and then I checked it, I was like,
I thought it was real, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh, that's what they thought it was.
He's still
So
alive.
Jerry and George try to guess it.
Right.
And they guess both.
Yeah.
He came out and denied it though, so I'm still
Moriola.
team Morgan Freeman.
Whenever there's
See,
like,
and
Celeste,
I
what
like
would
knew all
Celeste
so
be?
they got together previously, and
Breast.
they're like, all right.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
And
they're
Gipple?
Like, well, we're gonna make a day and all come out together and do it. And that's,
I mean,
you know,
this is
like,
genius stuff.
That's
there's like
right.
6 of
But
them.
I was
mean,
so, I'm like,
But whatever. Well, some of the stuff that you hear that comes up, like
Like
we
that.
just
Oh
don't know
my
on the
gosh,
one thing.
I find
Some of these guys did really fucked up shit.
Right.
Some of them were like,
You can't lump them all
He
together.
touched someone's leg in an interview.
Where?
Right.
It's like, I don't care.
He's not like Matt Lauer with a secret trap
Oh.
door
Oh,
or a
yeah,
secret
okay,
lock on his
that-
office.
That
Like,
was weird. I was like, damn, Matt, you don't even gotta do that.
right.
bro.
He's got everything, and
Everybody
you
wants
gotta
to
have a
know.
secret lock installed. Oh, but I was relieved Morgan Freeman is still with us.
Yeah. But we did lose Anthony Bourdain this week.
That was,
I used to love the Travel Channel show, man.
yeah.
No reservations. I watched that off the chain.
Brian watches
Every
that.
episode.
See, I would
Oh,
watch it
Expedition
here and there, just
Unknown.
whenever I would catch
Does
it,
he
but
watch
to
that?
see
Oh,
all
maybe
the interviews
cultured.
afterwards.
It made
He
me
watches
feel cultured. I'm like,
all.
like,
He watches The
everybody
Pioneer
else.
Woman.
Yeah.
Do you know which one that
This
is?
cool.
why do I know?
The
Yeah,
redhead.
that's
Yes.
seeing everybody
He watches-
and all
he
the
watches
quote
Food
pictures
I mean, he
Network.
doesn't
and things
love
like
it,
that.
but he
That's-
watches
Find out you had a daughter, you're
all
like,
of
fuck
them.
Does he watch Food
Yeah.
Network?
I don't know.
And Kate
I
Spade,
don't
too.
ever-
She has
'cause
like
I
a
don't ever
13-year-old
turn
daughter.
it
Right.
on to that channel.
Both of them among themselves. Like,
he watches.
that
His favorite, I think,
a
is
way to
Andrew
go that I would
Zimmern.
never.
Okay.
Right.
With
Take
Bizarre.
pop a
Yeah,
bunch
Bizarre
of
Foods, Bizarre
Bizarre
Foods, something like that.
Or
and
unpainful.
Right.
It's the opposite of both.
the
of
travel
Exactly.
one where it's like the checklist one
I'm
that's
taking a
somewhat
gun.
newer. He's got
Okay.
like Cocoa
Pills.
City.
I don't know
and
them.
Yes, that's what I told my
Okay.
brother. I was like, man, looking at all these
Um,
people. But he was like,
what is his
don't
line
take
at the end
enough,
of
though.
Bizarre Foods? If it
Because you
looks
have like brain damage.
Oh,
and
damn.
you're like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
something like
What is
that.
it?
Right.
I think it was Halle Berry that tried to
Um,
commit suicide by
did
doing
she?
the years ago when she
In the
was
past,
dating
he's watched
David
The Barefoot
Justice,
Contessa,
baseball
is that
player.
her name?
Wow.
She
She-
did the
she's
gar-
on-
She's on Food
the
Network.
garage when you
Okay.
keep the car
Oh,
running.
like
Food Network or
Yeah.
Food Channel?
That-
He's even had it on.
Seems like it would
Who's
work.
the little sister?
The
Haley
Fumes,
Duff.
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, that seems like.
What
did
the
she have?
actress?
she wanted. I guess
She has a
somebody
cooking
found
show.
her
Oh, I
didn't
before it
know
was
that.
too late.
Hilary Duff. Haley Duff.
That guy.
Haley has a
Okay.
cooking show.
For the
Right.
culture.
Like Trisha Yearwood's. He's had it
Yeah.
on.
Trisha Yearwood, yep.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
We'll get to LeBron James in just a second, but first, all of Jacksonville needs to know where is the best burger in town. Blythe, I know you've got a list working. I came up with a list earlier today, but Donna, I will start with you because you are the pickiest eater of the three of us.
I am very picky. Yes.
It's
Very
not
picky.
iHob. Hobnob.
No,
Not
it's not
iHob.
It's not iHOB or Hobnob either. But so it's not a local place. But this is the. It's hard. I'm very picky, and if I find a burger that I find is absolutely delicious, I will eat it and eat it there. So Cheesecake Factory, and they have 1,000 menu items that you can pick from. But I will usually get their Americana burger. It is so wonderful, so juicy, always cooked correctly. But I love the one fact that they put on there, and they put the crunchy potato crisps on top. Because I always, if I have a sandwich, when I make my turkey wraps or anything like that, I'll put in strips, like tortilla strips, and crunch them up because I want to crunch.
Oh yeah,
I want
like putting
that crunch
potato
bite.
chips on a sandwich.
Or
Yes.
like the onion straws. Yeah, you
Yes.
can buy those by the bag
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And just snack on them. That's the
It's
worst decision my mother
so-
ever showed me.
That's for me the Americana cheeseburger at Cheesecake Factory. But pregnancy now, I'm at Sonic a lot. I will
That's a
dig
lot.
me some Sonic burgers, man.
That's
They are
Sonic is a
delicious.
fast food place that I never crave. I love fast food. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Hardee's, Arby's. I eat
Sonic
a
has
lot
a
of them.
variety of stuff, whatever you want.
You just gotta go to the dual like Hardee's and taco place.
Sonic's a little too expensive too. Like they're too big for their britches. When it comes to fast food, like I don't want to spend $9.
See, I will right now. I will buy me that, and they have the pretzel sticks now. I will get that, and they have the slushies. Any flavor slushies you want.
Even pickle juice.
Earlier, you guys were talking about like, oh, do commercials because of advertising?
Yeah.
Do you buy our product? Because of the Sonic advertising, I don't go.
I second that. They released a pickle juice shake today. Sonic.
PK, my girl PK, she sent that to me. She's like, "Are you going to get them?" I'm like, heck no. I love me some pickles. I am not drinking pickle juice.
I would try it, but I wouldn't if you get like a small sampler size or something.
Something like that needs to be involved in a bet. You know, like
or
if you lose, you are drinking
Make
that
Tyler
pickle
do it
juice.
Instead of the Tom TB12 diet.
You have to, for every meal for a week, you're drinking the pickle
Maybe he's
juice.
been doing the Tom Brady diet, and that's why he's sick tonight. Maybe not enough calories or enough unhealthy food actually did him in.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Blythe, give us your list.
Okay. First on the list is Epic Burger, the barbecue slaw burger. It's fantastic. They put the little crunchies. You got the big onion ring on it. They put the slaw on there. Next up, Colonel Mustard's, very underrated.
I haven't had them yet,
Oh,
but
they
I
deliver
love the name.
too. They deliver. Colonel Mustard, the fat burgers, and a lot of their burgers are named after like Jaguar players. And then Gators too, and FSU. The owner is a Gator fan, so I think the full pound burger is named after the Gators, and then there's like a quarter pound burger that's named after FSU.
That's funny.
So it's kind of they get a little creative with their menu.
But Colonel Mustard's, that's a great name for a burger joint.
And they deliver, so heads up. Poe's in Atlantic Beach, they have really, really great burgers too. Great decor in that spot too. Hoptinger has a Bangarang burger that's phenomenal, and Tasties in Fernandina, giving Fernandina a little love. Tasties is phenomenal too, and I think that they were, back when I worked at Void, they were voted on by the readers as the best burger in all of North Florida.
Interesting. I will be in that area on Friday. I'll have to check that out. I had Poe's and Colonel Mustard on my list, but then I'll give you one that you did not mention. And I feel like you can get anything from M Shack, and it's delicious. But the Portobello Truffle Burger has beef patty, bacon, basil pesto, tomato, smoked Gouda, which is my all-time favorite cheese, a balsamic glaze, and truffle portobello duxelles. I don't even need the bacon. Truth be told, I don't actually prefer bacon on my burgers, so usually I'll get it without. I know it seems odd, but I like the beef flavor and the seasoning and the cheese together. I don't need bacon, but I also don't order, like if I go get breakfast out, I don't get bacon, so I'm in a different category.
Like I think there's only one thing that bacon doesn't go with, and that would be cereal.
And I'm sure some people actually would eat.
Like who would put bacon in cereal?
Yeah, not in cereal.
But if you're thinking of every other food choice you're making,
cereal
you're like,
bacon on the
you
side.
could eat bacon with it.
So when it comes to IHOP switching to International House of Burgers, that's what
So
sparked
dumb.
this conversation.
Is that real? They did confirm it? I
Yeah,
think it's a marketing scam.
I don't think so. I think that, I mean, they put out pictures of the burgers that they're going to be serving, like they're calling them
they're
steakhouse
lying.
burgers. So
They're
I don't
lying.
think so. But
oh, that's such a dumb decision if they're not lying.
my question is, when was the last time y'all had a pancake or pancakes?
Goodness, I'm more of a French toast kind of girl. So if I'm going to order like a little dessert style at breakfast, it's gonna be French toast.
I got the new, what was it, 2 weeks ago, I think. We went to breakfast at Metro Diner at the beach, and they have new cinnamon roll pancakes.
Ooh.
And it is delicious.
Your face is lit
but
up.
I'm telling you right now, if you go there and you're like, oh, that sounds great, it is. You're eating a cinnamon roll, but it's into a pancake.
Ooh.
But it's the size of the giant plate, and there's two of them. So I did good because I ate half, and that's a lot.
Yeah, they give you a lot of
But
food.
it is so good. Yes, so Metro Diner, you get yourself some cinnamon roll pancakes.
Yeah, go there instead of iHOB.
I have not had a pancake since I was probably a little kid. I feel like pancakes are just so nondescript. Like you have to put butter and syrup on it combined, at least to me. Both of them on there for it to even taste good. And I feel like there are so many other foods that you don't need to drowse. That's not the right word.
Do you like
to drown
grapes?
in? Yeah, or douse. Yeah, I combined them. To douse it in in something that's not very good for you, which is both the butter and the sweet, sticky syrup. That's the other thing. I don't like syrup. I don't like the things it's served in, like around the pores.
Oh yeah.
Or it gets like nasty.
Those are so. As a former restaurant worker, those are terrible to clean.
Yeah.
So you don't eat French toast or anything.
Yeah,
and I don't eat any
Waffle House, you don't just get like one big old pancake. On the side. That's amazing. Come on.
On the side, yes. Yeah, on the side.
What about pancake with like chocolate chips?
No, I'm more strawberries.
Amazing.
Or I do like the pigs in
not
pigs in a blanket, but it's sausage and pancakes. What is it called? I forget what it's called.
Sausage and pancakes.
Like it's wrapped in a sausage is wrapped in.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That
it's
sounds
really
like
good.
something from Louisville.
It's
I don't know.
It's kind of like a corn dog, but with a sausage and a pancake around it.
Yeah, McGriddles are sort of.
Yeah.
I
don't know, but Bob Evans has some wicked awesome kitty. They have piggy pancakes.
Oh, that's cute.
So little man gets piggy pancakes.
At some point, I changed from sweet. I was always a diehard fan of sweets growing up to savory, and I've never looked back. I never crave sweets whatsoever, but certainly the savory. Like I'll take a burger over pancakes.
Yeah.
100 times out of 100.
Yeah,
I'll never take the pancakes.
I don't know if I'll go and try a burger there.
See, I'm an ice cream person. I gotta have ice cream.
They actually have really good ice cream at iHop.
Wait, ice cream on your
iHOB
pancake?
now.
iHop.
All right, let's get it to LeBron. LeBron James and the Cavaliers were swept in the finals by the Warriors.
And
now,
I'm so
of course,
surprised they were swept, though. I thought they would at least
that
win
game
one
one killed him. I knew it too. The minute JR made that play, I said the series is over.
Oh, absolutely. And we kind of all thought the Warriors were going to win regardless of what happened in game one.
But it would have,
when that happened,
5 or 6 they would have won instead of a sweep.
So 2 questions. One, of course, all people want to know, where's LeBron going to go? We'll get to that in a second. But first question, after game one, it came out after game 4, the very last game when the Warriors won the championship, that LeBron had punched a whiteboard. Then he does his post-game presser with a cast on his hand. Blythe, as a LeBron fan, how did you feel about that? Did you feel like, come on, why would you be that dumb?
I thought it was dumb. I thought it was even more curious that you're going to put the cast on before the press conference. Like, I get the idea that you're not going to give the Warriors a heads up that you are injured. I get that aspect of it. But putting a cast on before your press conference, like, why wouldn't you just wait until you got into the car and then have your cast on? Like, why do you have to sort of make it, I guess, a media spectacle?
That's LeBron.
He loves
theater.
Right, and that is LeBron. He with that move, he made the whole series about himself, and I get it. He is the best player in the game, but I just thought it was dumb, and I thought it was dumb to hit a whiteboard. You're the best player in the game. You're your team's only chance, and that's what you're going to do in a moment of frustration. I thought it was stupid, but I think it also sort of is indicative of the entire environment that he had at Cleveland. Like, he was just that frustrated that he wasn't thinking, because usually he is a sort of he's a chess rather than a checkers kind of guy.
So where do you think he ends up?
I think there's a good chance he stays in Cleveland for another year and then sort of feels out what's going on in Boston. If he does go out west, I think he does go to LA, but he doesn't have any help out there right now. And I think that if he waited one more year, maybe signs a 1-year deal in Cleveland, then waits to see how the Lakers turn out, if they're going to be any good, or if he can get a couple star players to go with them to the Lakers, or if Kyrie is already saying, I think it was announced today, that he wants out of Boston after this year. So it could be a situation where he goes to Boston and he has that easy path to the finals each year.
Do you care where he goes, or will you be a fan no matter what?
Oh, I'll be a fan of him. With the NBA, I'm a fan of players, not necessarily teams at all. So I like the star players. So even Russell Westbrook is as selfish of a player as he is, then I still follow him, and definitely LeBron. So wherever he goes, I'm just a player fan with the NBA.
Donna, you are a Celtics fan. Mm-hmm. Do you want LeBron to go to the Celtics?
I kind of like what we have right now. We didn't get to see the team that they could be.
They got to stay healthy.
Kyrie was awesome, and Jason Tatum, who I'm sure surprised a lot of NBA fans out there, is going to be a stud. But
don't forget about my guy, Al Horford.
Yes, I'm sorry, your guy, Al Horford. But we'll see if how the team gels once Hayward comes back, so that'll be fun. But
So would you rather him not?
Right. If Kyrie stays, then yes, I'd rather not, because I don't want to see that angry ball of a mess that was
So
Cleveland.
then would you hope he doesn't go to a team like Philadelphia and he goes to
I
the
want
West?
him to go to LA so bad. I want him
Revive
to
that rivalry.
join LeVar Ball in that mess and have LeVar Ball try to assume and say anything that his son is better than LeBron.
See,
that's what I want.
I
Yes,
kind of
am.
think that LeBron is the only person that he would listen to. I think. Just because he commands that sort of respect.
I would tend to agree with you unless he sees that if he creates some sort of a duel with LeBron or a feud with LeBron, that gets him way more
lessens
publicity.
his playing time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he then would be in the spotlight, mentioned with LeBron's name. He doesn't care if his portion is negative. He just wants those headlines, which LeBron's always going to get.
He'd need another veteran voice there, like a Paul George, and maybe even a Chris Paul, to go there with him, I think, in order to make LA work.
Like, I just think it would be fun to see that mess.
And he has a home there. His wife likes it there a lot, and that he already said that matters wherever he goes.
And one final thing, vacations. What's the best vacation you've ever been on now that we're in vacation season?
Boom, Aruba, nonstop. Yep, that's easy. The
And
second time. We honeymooned there, then we went back for our 5th anniversary.
And you would go no child, right? Or no children?
Child. I love Summer and I love JT, but sorry.
Oh, is that the name?
Yes.
Oh.
Summer. She will be Summer. Yeah. We stayed, the second time we stayed at a hotel that has, it come inside the hotel, a boat comes and picks you up and takes you to its own little private island.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, how can you beat that?
Yeah.
And
no,
they
you
serve
can't.
drinks at
I
8
need
a.m.
Yeah.
I was sold. Thank you.
All right, Blythe.
I've taken a lot of trips. Orlando and Vegas, New York are the places I've gone to the most, mostly because they're my favorite cities. I would probably say either of those. The Keys too, just because I love the tropics, but I'm more or less looking forward to a trip that I'm taking in November to the Dominican. We're gonna go stay in Treehouse, what's called the Dominican Tree House Village.
Nice.
And it's all these houses that are built up in the trees as a tree house, and private bathrooms, air conditioner, all that good stuff, and you have all the excursions that you can do too. So I'm really looking forward to that trip. I think that's going to be my new favorite trip. I can't really pick a favorite place that I've ever been to because each one was special in its own way.
I'm impressed you're going to travel during football season.
Well, Thanksgiving weekend, so
Okay.
that
works.
Yeah, so and that's really the group can only really go that weekend because you get the few days off and all that good stuff.
I will say every vacation I go on makes me appreciate that vacation even more. So my most recent one, I feel like, has to be my most favorite one because A, that's the one I remember the most because I just took it in February when we went to Puerto Rico. But also, I feel like you learn different things with each trip, and so I feel like you're a better traveler. At least I get to become a better traveler with each trip. And the other one that was my favorite, in 2006, my family and I went to California where we have family. And we went to 47 wineries, and I was young, so it was a lot to take in. But I learned so much about wine in those 10 days.
Were you 21 or?
Oh yeah, I was over 21.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
I'm like, well,
absolutely.
that's a waste.
But young as far as
Okay.
and there I feel like they're a little more lackadaisical with IDs and stuff, and maybe it's because I was with older people, my parents and my aunt and uncle, but. I will say it was like the most intense training you could get about wine, but yet now I feel like I could almost not get a job as a sommelier, but I feel like I could work almost in an industry
Those
where
are
I
the
could
wine
discuss
experts,
wine.
right? That's what I was
Yes,
just about to
those
Google
are-
that term because my friend's boyfriend is getting trained in Michigan to be one of those people.
Yeah, sommelier.
You
And
get trained, don't you? It's
well,
either
because
you
have to be
the
able
taste buds
to,
or you don't.
No, you have to be able to recognize certain different strains of wine, like the varietals of wine. And then you have to be able to recognize, like, for instance, if you tell me the kind of palate that you have, I have to be able to go through everything that I know about wine and pick out something that you would like, not necessarily that I would like.
And
So-
what would pair best with what food?
And then certainly, right, what pairs with what food. So a lot of restaurants, for instance, we had a sommelier at Seasons 52. I think I told y'all the story that we got there. My dad brought 2 bottles of wine for us to share. And the sommelier said, this one in particular needs to aerate for about an hour, so let it breathe for about an hour. And this other one probably needs to be like 2 hours. And I was like, 2 hours?
Now wait.
And an hour before we get wine? Like, are you kidding me? And so my mom and I were like, what do we do? I guess we order wine when we had just planned on drinking this wine. But so that's an example of also what a sommelier does is they look at what year that wine is, and then specifically that varietal, and then they know how long it needs to quote unquote brew.
But can you taste the difference?
So my parents several years ago, after we did this trip, did a wine taste testing. And they picked just one type of wine, so a Cabernet Sauvignon. So that's the red type of cab, and we did like little tiny sips and tried to compare. And then we did it again after it had breathed for a while, aerated. And yes, you can tell a difference, but you have to really be trained and really focused on it. Once you have one glass of wine, then
because I'd be like, forget it, pop that bottle now.
Absolutely. But it is good, at least like I love having that knowledge now because I can go to a restaurant, I know exactly what I like, I know what's too expensive, and it's so much fun. I feel like also to not train other people, that sounds way too intense, but to just share with other people, once they tell me kind of wines they like, I can recommend stuff. And like the other night we went to dinner at Market 32 and Brian's sister's like, what kind of wine do I like here? That's you like Riesling. That's the one that you like. She's like, oh yeah, thank you. So I feel like I love it so much because of that one trip that we were there. And
that's cool.
It was a lot of, it was really fun. But at the end of the day, like you've been to 6 different wineries and you have, a different taste of all these different wines.
Just sort of melts all together.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, another winery. But now I think if I went at this age with all the wine I've had even since then, I would never get tired of going to different vineyards.
See, I go to my girlfriend and I'm like, what do I like? Just order for me.
Yeah, and I love being able to navigate people towards what they like. So there you go. That's a lot about wine. Maybe I should bring wine in for a taste testing one night. That would be a whole lot of fun.
Do it in a couple months, Ken.
That's a very good point. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to JJ LaSalva for producing for us tonight as Tyler was out ill. Stay tuned for Hacker After Dark with Andrew Gibson. That is coming up next. For Blythe Bremley and Donna Murphy, I'm Lauren Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.
Bye, guys. Have a good night. Go Jack.
I only drink one.